Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to cover me basically just showing a little bit of what I've been doing here. I've been putting down some ties, as you can see there. These ties I got are from Kapler. I didn't feel like cutting my own, and the product you get from them is really good. You know, it's you pay a little bit for it, but you know what? They're doing the labor. I'm not. I got enough work to do here with the amount of track I got to lay and stuff. So to me, definitely worthwhile. I've used their products before. Excellent stuff. I'll put a link to their website in my description in the video in case you guys are interested and want to check them out. They also do like scale dimensional lumber for O scale and HO and stuff. So definitely worth checking them out, paying them a visit. Again, like I said, I started putting down some ties. Let me go ahead and tighten in a little bit on that for you. This isn't, there's not a whole lot here I'm going to bother like really showing you how to do because it's pretty self-explanatory. All I'm doing to hold the ties down is I'm using that Titebond wood glue. Pick it up at any hardware store or home center. I'll put down a good bead of it, and then I'll spread it around with an old putty knife that I have. Just get a nice thin even layer. You don't want a lake of the stuff. And then I'll let it sit and get it tacky for 5 minutes or so, and then I'll just start placing the ties. Now everything I do with the tie placement is all done freehand. I don't use any jigs. I don't use really much of a marking line. Here and there I will in a curve just to kind of guide me a little bit, but overall I don't. It's all just freehanded. I found that lets me achieve a bit of randomness to the placement of the ties. You know, if you look at a lot of vintage film, 40s, 50s, stuff like that, and you look down the main lines or in the curves and whatnot, obviously the main line trackage, you'll see a little variance, a little bit of side to side here and there. And, you know, again, just another little detail kind of caught my eye that I liked, wanted to replicate on my layout. So that's what I'm doing here in the portions that are going to get hand laid. Excuse me. Obviously, what you're looking at, I've placed already. It's still wet. It's drying. I just finished up with that little bit of work a little while ago. Go ahead and kind of pan around here a little bit. I'm going to zoom back out. I continued it around through this entire curve. This is basically the bottom of the L, if you will, of the layout. This is going to be pretty near to the front for viewing, so I wanted to just go ahead and carry it through the curve here. What you're looking at there are some, sorry about that, some things I use just to weight the track down, or the ties down rather. I found that sometimes when the glue's curing, it can cause the ties to lift a little bit or to rise up some. So I put a little bit of weight on there just to hold things down for about an hour or so, and then I remove it. And generally that tends to, you know, do the job really well. Once everything's cured and set up, I'll come back in and I'll give everything a light sanding with a sander. And that's just really till we can ensure having a good level surface for our rail. You know, you don't want any high or low spots because when you start spiking the rail down, you'll find them. And if they're there, it's going to definitely leave you with some poor track work and not lend itself to some reliable operations. So I like to come back in, give everything a light sanding. Once that's done, then I'll come back into these areas here, like I said, that are going to get hand laid. And I'm going to mix up various concoction of stain and stuff like that, like I did last time. And I'll come back in here and I'll hit the ties with that. And again, let that dry for a day or two. Sometimes the stain, when you add it, it has a tendency to want to lift the grain a little bit. You might get an uneven tie here and there again. So after staining, you might want to come back. Just take a quick look, make sure everything's still nice and level and flat. Use some type of a straight edge piece of rail, you know, as long as you know it's straight. Again, just to make sure that everything stayed nice and flat, nothing moved on you, nothing lifted because of the stain and the curing and stuff. So, but like I said, easy steps. Just go ahead, put your glue down, place your ties, go ahead and weight them down with something for a little while, and then you'll be able to just go ahead and sand everything smooth, stain them, and start laying your rail. So that's pretty much what I've been doing, I should say, down here in this end of the layout. Again, not a whole lot to show with it, just a kind of an update video, more or less. You know, spreading glue and setting a tie in place. It's not anything obviously too difficult. Very easy to do, and generally goes pretty quick as long as you got all the supplies in place that you need and everything. And it's going to let us up to a big chunk of detail for this end of the layout. And again, everything just up close, you know, because I'm going to be using tie plates and rail joiners, fish plates, the whole 9 yards. So it's gonna be subtle details that once everything gets weathered, it's not gonna leap out at you. It's kind of more of those details that when you get up close and you look, and then it'll start catching your eye. So, but again, went pretty well, and that'll conclude the video. I'll be covering some more stuff coming up here in the future, some curved turnout work, and some stuff with right-of-way detail parts, you know, switch points, tie plates, frogs, rail braces, guardrails, all that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and touch back on all that again, kind of do a little bit of a review and show you some of the stuff I'm going to be using. And when we get into the laying the track and handling everything, I'll make a video of all that stuff, obviously, and show you how I'm doing things. And hopefully it'll come out to be an interesting video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.